welcome to the luxury wine tasting event held here at Armoury House in the City of London. Today we're going to be interviewing some of the world's experts in the Greek wine industry. So, enjoy. We're here now with the organizer at the wine tasting event, and we have with us here Fred Donnison.
Yes, I'm the CEO of Guarding Thermopylae, and the reason why I put this together is because I went to Greece and I went to Thermopylae, and I tasted some fine wines and extraordinary organic food with my great friend Yanni, who was a hunter in the Thermopylae Mountains. And with that, I realized that the food that's in Greece is of an exquisite taste, that it should be brought over to the United Kingdom for everybody else to have this flavour. And I've decided to put this wine tasting together to launch that whole idea. So I've invited the wineries from Greece that only produce a small quantity but high quality wine, and like I said, we are launching today, and in a while I will also be launching the organic food as well from Greece.
And how does that all come together? Can you tell us a bit more? Certainly.
Well, I'm a serving member of the military, and whilst I was over there, I saw the link with King Leonidas and the famous 300 Spartans. So Thermopylae is a place in my heart now, and that's why I call my company Guarding Thermopylae, because unfortunately Greece is going through a little bit of a problem, just like the United Kingdom is with Brexit. So what I thought was, if I could set up the company with the Greek partners, we could already set up our trade links before the Brexit. So I can do my little part to help Greece introduce their fantastic wine and food to London, and then the UK, and then the rest of the world, but keeping it small and exquisite flavours, so we will never lose quality or control.
And it is definitely exquisite. What makes it so exquisite?
I think it's the wine producers today. They have got such a vast knowledge of what they do, and they also understand that the clientele have got a very good palate, because in England the English are quite happy to buy and to taste wines from all over the world. They are not stuck to one part of the world. They will drink new world wine and old world wine, and it's not the cost that they see. It's what they want is the consistency of very good quality, and the reliability of having that wine delivered year on year on. And from what I've seen of all the wineries that I have visited with my partner, that's part of our decision, was to visit every winery ourselves and ensure that they cover all the health and safety, all the quality that's needed, everything that gives us the warm feeling that when we do business here in England, we are talking to our client as if we were in Greece. So they have that guarantee from Guarding Thermopylae that they will get the quality and consistency every time that they order wine or food from this company.
Absolutely, and you're very dedicated.
Oh, sorry. Yes, I have enjoyed myself putting this business together, because for me this hasn't been a way of living, this has been a way of life. It has been a fantastic challenge, because the Greek way of doing things is, to say the least, a little bit different to the way the United Kingdom do things, and marrying the two up has been a challenge at time, but it's been a great challenge. I've enjoyed it. Every time I get up out of bed every morning, I'm thinking I need to get this up and running, and here we are today, enjoying the toils of not just me, but all these guys behind me who's brought their wines, and from the planning stage to now, where they've shown their dedication and they've come up with the goods. And now, as you can see, there's plenty of people tasting the wine, and with a bit of luck we will be coming here again to the Honourable Artillery Company in London to launch another set of wines next year, and including the organic food as well.
That's great. And what are your plans to get it all over here? How do you plan on going about doing so?
Right. Well, that'll be with the help of the Greek government, because with Brexit coming, we're a little bit concerned about that. But it's a bridge that I'm sure we will come across, and we'll find an easy path between the Greek government and the British government for trades, tariffs and all that sort of stuff, if that comes in. But I'm not really that fussed about it, because it's the food and the wine that sells itself. So the bit in the middle where we have to deal with the politics of Greece and the UK, and we have Europe in the middle of us, I'm not going to concern myself with that, because, like I say, I'm sorry for repeating myself, but this is a fantastic challenge for me and for Greece. And even though I'm an Englishman, and I'm going to say it myself, this is one of the best places to launch. If it's an old saying, if you can make it in Las Vegas, you can make it anywhere. I believe that's the saying. Well, it's the same here. If you can sell your wine here, you'll be able to sell your wine around the world, because, like I say, the English palate is not loyal to one place. They will go where the fine wine is, and the fine wine is here from Guarding Thermopylae Limited, all produced in Greece.
Well, I've tasted the wine and it's beautiful, so yes, for sure. And for every problem, there's always a solution, so I'm sure that you'll bring it to us in the UK.
Yes, well, the Greeks and the English have traded for years and years and years, so I don't see any problems with that. The quality of the produce is there, the dedication and the professionalism of the Greek guys in the production, to the bottling, to the labelling, to the harvest, from the beginning to the end, the dedication is obvious. And at the end of the day, the dedication is tasting it through your own mouth, and you will find that a lot of the farms are hand-picked, the grapes, there's no machinery used, it's traditional, and that's what's part of our promotion, is the fact that Greece is steeped in history. And where my farm is, in Thermopylae itself, I mean, you can't get any more famous than that, coming for me as an Englishman. And I just have a smile on my face every day that I know I'm going to be working over there to bring this produce to the British people, because it's a fantastic product that sells itself. There's not much for me to do, to be honest. I just make sure it gets from Greece to here in perfect condition for the client to enjoy, and that's it.
That's it, and that is an absolute passion. I can see that you have that. Thank you very much. Thank you, Fred Donnison, for that. That's lovely. Thank you.
We're here at the famous Armoury House in the City of London on what is a very, very special occasion. Caterina, I get the sense that you're on the verge of something special.
I think I am. I feel I am. Not only because I have the wine here and the wineries, that they are doing the same job as I do, but because the people, they were very open and welcoming to see what we're doing. They knew, they have seen so many Greek wines, good quality wines as well, but they were interested because here we do luxury wines, unique ones that you cannot find everywhere else, and not in huge quantities. That's what a luxury product is always.
Well, looking down at the wine, I can see only one wine, several bottles of one wine, so it must be very special.
It is. It is the Land of Thermopylae. It's produced in the vineyard that you saw earlier on the video screen, and it is an organic Merlot and Syrah blend grown on volcanic and organic soil in Thermopylae, Greece. It is an area that people haven't really known that produces great wine since the ancient years. And I only produce that because I think it's so precious and so lovely that only few people can buy. That's what luxury products are all about.
Well, I just tasted it.
How did you find it?
Absolutely breathtaking.
Yes, that's what it is all about. And it's only going to stay in this quantity from now until eternity because I say so. Because if you have the Petrus of Greece, you can't produce as much as you like. It's only going to be 3,000 to 5,000 bottles per year. That's it.
Quality seems to be the word that keeps coming up today. Explain that to me.
Quality, because we are used to say quality controls and quality, yeah, because the whole of Greece, even if they don't do a good job, has quality products. You know, the soil is so good, so fertile, the sun is different. Even in olive oil, no matter wine that needs a lot of processing and it's a different, a whole different thing to do. But even in olive oil, if you blind taste the best olive oils in the world, blind taste them, you will pick up the Greek one because it is the most amazing one. In the same sense, the wines, the wines there in the vineyards are exquisite. And I'm not talking about quality because there are many quality wines in Greece. I'm talking about excellence. I'm talking about something that nobody else has done. What I'm doing, nobody else has done. Nobody is guarding Thermopylae just for one wine, just for 3,000 to 5,000 bottles a year. And these guys are the same. I mean, the winery of Parnassos is only one winery in Parnassos. Nobody else did it. They are on top of the oracle of Pythia. They are doing something exceptionally good. And the Matamis, they are specialists in sparkling wines in Greece. They are the ones who made the Argyriou, this ancient Greek variety, into the méthode traditionnelle wine that you tasted before. You liked that, didn't you?
I thought it was excellent. I mean, while we're talking about the region, I think this is quite important. Thermopylae, it conjures up all sorts of images in terms of legends of Leonidas and battling with the Persians. Does your wine in some way represent all of that magic?
In a sense, yes. The soil there is always been a battlefield for everything. The wines have struggled to find their way down, and once they did and they found the roots and they found the waters, they are producing an amazing thing that you were very lucky to taste in England. And I started in England for one reason. You know, you can find lots of varieties from Spain, Italy, France, in Greece. Greeks drink other wines as well. The French, they don't, not so much. Not the Italians, not all of the world. The English do. Their palates are more sophisticated than other people, and they are open-minded. They are the only people who are trying Japanese whiskey just to see how the Japanese are doing it. So I'm starting here because they know that once they find something exquisite, they won't let their hands off it. They won't let anybody else take it.
Well, I recall in the James Bond film, I think it was in 1982, For Your Eyes Only, Roger Moore talks about a specialist Greek wine, which he preferred over French wines. And at the time, I think people struggled a little bit to understand that concept. But things are changing, and you're going to do something about things changing, I understand.
We just did today. Today it's the volume 1 of the luxury branding for Greece. We have amazing cheese from the best parts of Greece as well, to help us not get drunk.
Why not?
And there are people who are doing the same thing. I'm not Leonidas. I have 300 with me. You know, there are many people who are doing exceptionally good products. Wines, cheese, olive oil, and they are luxury products. They are not just quality ones. There's a difference in quality and excellence.
What has been the problem in the past in terms of promoting this kind of wine? Clearly the quality you have, clearly the potential to grow excellent wines. What's been the stumbling block?
Well, I don't want to put ourselves down. We hadn't had any controlled marketing and training plan. There was never in that government, and that not on this government, all the governments in Greece, they never could tackle the issue of, you're doing something amazing, let me help you promote it, let me give you the platforms, let me show you around. This here today that you're going to see at, and everybody's going to see what we're doing. It's the Hellenic TV that offers that to us. It should have been subsidized by the national channels of Greece to do things like that, controlled, organized for everybody, to have a committee to search for excellence, to make sure that these people, they send a sample, and what the sample is about, the whole order is about, so there's a more control that they didn't have. But they weren't trained to do that. And Fred Donnison, the Guarding Thermopylae company, the importer, that's what he does. He is making sure that it is controlled. He doesn't put his name on anything that's not controlled.
Now, how do you see things improving in the future, and do you believe an event like today is a real stepping stone as far as moving forward?
Yes, I think I do. It is, and I think it's, if you've seen, it's the first of many to happen, focused only on excellence and luxury products, nothing else. I will be more than happy to participate in other tastings and in other things as well, but we have not the same target group, actually. That's why we're here. We are more focused on that.
I'd like to go back to the wine itself. Could you talk me through the flavours and the actual taste sensation of your wine and what makes it so special?
Well, there are some ancient vines there, but due to restrictions of how many percentages you can put in, we don't refer to that. We only refer to the Merlot and Syrah, which are stronger and more of it. And I am proud to say that the Syrah, a very good friend of mine told me that the Syrah is a vine that comes from Syria, so it's an ancient Greek name. So it is an ancient Greek wine that the French excelled, and we took and replanted there again. And it's very smooth. It's so different. You tasted it. It's very different from anything you've ever tasted up to now.
And this is organic, isn't it?
It is organic. Purely organic, and just because of the terroir, it's so strong. It's very strong, the soil there. It's volcanic as well.
And is the wine quite strong in terms of alcohol content?
Well, it is a bit. It is 13.5 degrees.
So we need to be a bit careful.
No, you need to enjoy it. And you know what? Even if you can get drunk with it, don't get me wrong, but the next morning you'll feel energized. It's a medicine.
That's what my doctor says.
Well, Hippocrates used to use wine for his remedies thousands of years ago, and the ancient Greeks were so savvy that they were putting wine in the water to sanitize it. They knew the qualities from then.
Do you see yourself as following in the footsteps of a famous French lady who a few hundred years ago did something with French wines?
Oh, Madame Lubat, yes, because she was told she was not allowed to price her wine as expensive as the Pomerol side, and she says, I don't care. She said, I don't care. My wine is better cultivated, better down, and it deserves this price. And up to now, the Petrus has this price because this lady had a vision exactly like mine. And I want to be Madame Lubat of Greece.
Comparing to Chateau Mouton Rothschild and Chateau Lafite, some challenge.
No, they are totally different ones. She was doing one thing only, and she succeeded, and that's what I want to do.
What about the future for you, Caterina? Is this going to be the first of many exhibitions?
Yes, and you will be more than welcome to join them as well.
With this wine, how could I say no?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, bye.
Hellenic TV welcomes you. Harry Gills needs no introduction in terms of wine tasting. What's your expectation before you taste this wine?
This? Well, I mean, I don't know until I taste it, to be honest with you, but I'm sure it's, as it's Caterina's only wine, there's going to put a lot of heart into this wine.
So what sort of flavours will be you looking for?
I'm not quite sure, to be honest with you, until I try it.
Okay, well that'll be the $64,000 question.
Do you see why I value his words? Because
Well, I can smell a lot of beautiful vanilla on this, on the nose straight away. I say it's a lovely wine. Lovely body to it. Beautiful finish on this wine. Lots of fruit on the front palate. I don't know, it's just a great wine. Now, the grape on this was...
it's Merlot and Syrah. That is the vineyard, is underneath the land of Thermopylae, the ancient acropolis of Thermopylae itself.
Okay.
And it was an old vineyard, an ancient vineyard. Since the old days, they were growing grapes there.
Okay.
And the terroir itself, it's so strong that even the wine is organic, but even for the organic wines that they're a little bit not so strong,
Sure.
This is stronger than the others of the area.
And this is the only wine you make?
That's the only one I make.
It's amazing.
I will never make any more. It's only going to be 3,000 to 5,000 bottles. And I'm ambitious. I want to be the Madame Lubat of Greece. It's going to get better and better
I must
and
say,
better.
this is a really fantastic wine. I love it. I mean, I'm actually drinking this now instead of spitting it out.
So it's more than tasting, it's really getting stuck into it.
Yeah, there's so much going on in this wine. Beautiful.
And how does this compare to similar wines of its kind, would you say?
Well, I think this is quite on its own, to be honest with you. I can't compare it against anything else.
So you'd actually give it a unique quality?
Yeah, it is a very beautiful wine. It's got a lot going on there. I mean, the terroir of this, as she explained, is quite high elevation. It's got the mountains coming down, bringing down all sorts of minerals down to the vineyard.
And why is that so important? Why is that so important?
Well, it's important really because it gives the grapes more structure and flavour and more depth to the grape. It's a gravelly kind of thing, and the grapes pick it up slowly from the earth.
And can this wine be drunk as an everyday wine, or would it be purely and simply with food, would you say?
Well, personally speaking, I can drink it. I'm very happy to drink a couple of glasses without any food, but it certainly will go very well with food as well. It's an all-round wine, this, because the tannins are quite soft. So you don't really need food, but it's up to you. I would drink it either way.
So in your book, it ticks almost every box, really?
Yeah. It's a wonderful wine to drink.
You made us very happy.
But it's, you know, it's nothing. It's all in the product at the end of the day, Katerina. Everything sits there on its own.
I really am so proud.
That's a lovely wine.
Thank you very
It's an aged champagne, but basically, yes, this is very young, crisp, fresh. It's right now. This is a bit more complicated. There's a lot more going on in there.
When you say complicated, so there's lots of different tannins and different flavours all going on at once.
There's more structure in this wine. There's more age to it as well. You can feel it's much more complicated. This has no complications. This is just a nice, easy, straightforward drinking wine right now. Very pleasurable, fun wine. This is a little bit more serious. It's like drinking a vintage champagne. That's 85 or 2001 as compared to a young vintage. With age, they just get a bit more serious. That's it.
So you've got really, forgive the pun, but two bites of the cherry here, a wine which has all those complicated things that are going on that you've described, and a fun wine which is also very pleasant to drink.
Yes, of course. Yeah. They also reflect in prices as well. This, I would imagine, is a lot more money than this one, because it's aged, first of all, and it's got a lot more going into it. The selection's far more serious when they're picking the grapes. And they'll pick the best of the grapes. As he said that, this is only produced in certain vintages as well. Certain years they don't produce it if they don't think it's good enough. Just like fine champagne, if it's not good vintage, they don't produce it. It goes into the ordinary cuvée.
And what sort of life expectancy on these wines would you say?
Well, this one here is not really made to keep. It's made to drink in the next year, 2 years. I think you can keep this for quite a long time.
And there's two schools of thought: served chilled or not these days.
Always chilled sparkling wine. Always, for me anyway. I can't imagine serving champagne. You know, it has to be, for me, really chilled.
So not just lightly chilled, really chilled.
Yeah, for me, yeah. I mean, others like it a little bit less. But it's my taste.
And what about some of the other wines there?
Well, I thought this was excellent too. This red.
In what sense?
Well, it had a lot of power going on. It's a lovely wine. This. So it's a beautiful Syrah. It's quite a complicated one too. This one. There's a lot going on there. It's very Rhone in style. This one. I mean, you could put this with a very good Rhone wine, and you could lose it amongst them. Like a Côte Rôtie, even. It
has a similar taste?
It's very similar. I mean, it's like a load of Rhone wines. They're all similar to each other, but the style is the same. And this was very pleasant. Not particularly my style because it's a bit sweet, but I'm sure a lot of people would enjoy drinking that.
Would this be more like a dessert wine?
More or less. Yeah, you could have this as an aperitif or a dessert. I think dessert wine would go down very well.
And is it sweet?
It's not very sweet. It's just slightly sweet, but it's nice.
Sweet enough.
Yeah. But you know, I don't drink sweet wines myself, but a lot of people do. So, and this is very well made, so I'm sure it'd give a lot of pleasure to other people.
So they've got really a cross section of different wines here in terms of what they represent and how they taste.
Yes.
Fantastic. So Yannis, tell me what makes your wine so special?
It's Greece that make them special. They are the only Greek sparkling wines that we produce, only Greek varieties, as Assyrtiko, Malagousia, Moscato, and Assyrtiko of Santorini, which is something very special and limited.
And what sort of market are you aiming for?
We're aiming to the small market, the market that they are trying to find something different, unique as our products.
So this is moving away from the van ordinaire perception and something rather exquisite and selective.
Yes, it's proposing something unique that doesn't exist in the other countries. It gives a very good image of the Greek varieties that we believe so much in the category of sparkling wines. And it's very different from the European sparklings in the level of flavors and taste.
Tell me, what makes the technical difference in terms of the quality?
The technical difference, the method of the production is exactly the same. That makes the difference is the variety. We proceed always the same type of production as they use it in Italy and France, but through our Greek varieties we have a totally different product.
A little birdie told me that it's something also to do with the soil.
Yes, the soil is our basic, as we can say, that characterizes the different terroir, as they say, the French, in Greece, and very unique. We have a Assyrtiko from Santorini, that it is a small island, it's produced very few years of grapes, good grapes, in order to produce the sparkling wines. And other regions that have different kind of soil that gives different results in the grapes.
And what wines have you got on show here today?
We have a limited edition Assyrtiko from Santorini produces with a traditional method, second fermentation in the bottle. It's only about 3,000 or 4,000 bottles each harvest, if the harvest and the weather is good. Afterwards we are going to something more fresh, produced with a method of cuve close or method Sarma, something fresh, something easygoing and pleasant. And after that we produce two of sweet sparkling wines as a dessert based on the variety of Moscato of Alexandria.
And how do you see the Greek market in terms of moving forward as far as promoting these high-level wines?
Sorry, I didn't understand fully.
What's your opinion about how Greece markets this really exquisite wine as far as a general market?
Greece every year goes a level up. They are increasing the quality. They are trying to find more methods to produce high-quality wines. And Greece is a country that is very rich. Everywhere that you can plant a vineyard, it will give you something different. So we have understanding this thing the last years, so we are increasing more our quality.
So are you saying there's a kind of momentum now?
Yes, I believe so. It's a critical point of Greece. We have a very fast increasing of the quality, and every winery invests a lot of money to make it more. How can we say it? In machines, in techniques that they will express the Greek terroir more.
And how do you sell this to a British public, for example, which hitherto probably doesn't know that much about what you do?
We are trying to make it more known here in England, to let them taste it and judge our wines. We hope that they were going to like it very much.
Well, what I've heard from some of the people who've tasted this today, it seems quite exceptional.
Thank you very much. We hope for the best here.
And what sort of price do these range at?
We have the limited edition, which is something with high price because of the type of the product. The other products, they are more or less of 15, 16 pounds per bottle for the final customer.
So this is kind of like a mid to upper mid-range price?
More or less, yes. More or less, yes.
And would that be the market that you're aiming for?
Yes,
Well, we wish you every success with it.
very much.
Hellenic TV asks you, Despina, to tell us about your wines.
Hello. Our winery is in central Greece, in a mountain, Parnassos, one of the biggest mountains in Greece. And there we have 30 hectares of vineyards, and we produce different wines, red, white, from international and Greek varieties.
So you can sit on top of the mountain and look down at your wonderful wines.
Yes, exactly. We are in a high altitude, actually.
And I understand that the soil is particularly special in this region.
Yes, actually it's infertile, but this gives a special character in our wines because they try the vineyards to get their feed, so they become better in that battle. In combination with the climate, we have plenty of sun, and this matures better the vineyards and the grapes. So we have a good quality in our glasses.
As far as wine tasting is concerned, how does your wine rate in terms of quality, and what do you think are the standout features?
Okay, we focus on quality actually, and we really want to have the best. And I think we did it. Especially in the red wines, we have really good results, and the quality for us is really important. So, yes, you can taste it after.
Well, I've spoken to several people today, and they've said that it has a great quality as far as different ingredients, that people are talking about tasting cherries and wonderful aromas, even a dark chocolate. Is it a conscious thing that you try to get all of these flavours into one?
Yes, it's really important for a winemaker to combine the vineyard characteristics in order to have the best good result in the nose and in the taste in the glass of the wine. So yes, we have cherries, and in the white wines fresh aromas and of citrus. We have good enologies. Yes, this is really important, but we think that the really good quality, we catch it from the vineyard. It's really.
Now, I love my wine with food. Would you be so kind as to advise me which wines would go with which particular foods? I mean, would it be meat with a certain wine, or a roast, or cured meats?
Okay, because we came from Greece, I will suggest you something that it's really typical in Greece. We combine our malagousia, it's a Greek white variety, with a pasta with a light sauce, or with seafood. That in Greece we have a lot of seafood. So malagousia with seafood, it's a great meal for you and combination.
And in terms of where you go with this wine, how do you see yourself in the next few years?
We think that Greek wine is going really good. The market really needs new markets, new wines, and Greece it was not popular by far, but now all the wineries make a really good effort, and we think that the next years we're really optimistic for the new markets that they will open.
The one word I keep hearing this afternoon is quality.
Quality, quality, quality.
I think we'll finish on that one. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Stefanos, tell us about your lovely cheeses.
Right, well, Katerina here is organising asked us in Maltby and Greek to bring some interesting selection of Greek cheeses with us today. So we've got something from the islands, 2 cheeses from Naxos and 1 cheese from Crete. And what we have today is 1 cheese which is called Stachtotyri, which is an ash cheese. It's a sheep's milk cheese aged for about 6 months from the island of Naxos, and it's covered in kind of clean ash covering and aged in that, and it kind of produces something really kind of nice and very kind of appreciable to the palate here. I find people really enjoy the kind of cheese in the UK. Then we've got classic Graviera from Crete, but this one is a bit of a twist because it's smoked and it has thyme in it, and it's from a small producer on this high plateau in the west of Crete. And he's just a small hut, and him and his wife and a small helper make their cheese every morning. And we've been there and seen them do it. And he came up with this cheese and he sent it to us. And he's like, "What do you think? What do you think? It's my new cheese." And I was like, "Oh, well, what have you done?" It's like, "Oh, well, I smoked it." It's like, "How do you smoke it?" It's like, "Well, I put it in my sheds. I put it in my sheds, and I put the cheese on one end of the shed, and I put my smoking things on the other end of the shed." I was like, "Well, what's your smoking thing?" It's like, "Well, I went to the mountain and I got some sage and I got some thyme and I got some herbs and I dried them. And that's why I burn. I leave it for about 24 hours, and that's my smoking." And that's the kind of cheese that we like to cover and bring. And then the third cheese is probably the most appropriate for a wine event. It's melanotiri, which translates as an ink cheese. But actually what it is, it's what's called a drunken cheese. It's aged in wine lees, so that's the leftover yeast from the fermentation of the wine. You get this sort of muddy sediment at the bottom of the wine. You kind of, when the wine is surly, you leave the lees in, it makes it richer. But anyway, you eventually sort of drain these out, or rather drain the wine out. And this cheese is aged in it, so it's a sheep it's a cow and goat's milk cheese that's then aged in the wine lees, so it draws in a lot of the sort of flavours of the red wine into it. And that's the third cheese.
Cheese without wine is rather like gin without tonic. Talk me through, which wines would be appropriate for the cheeses that you've got on display today.
Well, I thought the last one, the melanotiri, would be great with Katerina's Merlot that I've yet to try, but I think it would be really suitable for Merlot combination. The thyme cheese, that's a tricky one, a bit of a smoky cheese, a bit of a and then a herb. It's got a few herbs in it as well, some fresh thyme. So that's quite tricky. But I tried a Cabernet with something called Mavroudi, which is quite a rare Greek variety from Argyriou Winery over there, and I think that would be a really good combination for that.
And with the cheese, do you taste it beforehand, or what sort of process do you go through to be completely happy with the quality of what you got?
Well, all of our producers, we've met them, we've been to their production, their farm, the small, production facilities, whatever that is, and we've tasted what they have, what they produce. We've seen how they produce it. We've met them as people. We know them personally. So it's always about that whole complete picture for us. We don't just go on taste, because that can change from time to time. People are often very inconsistent, so you need to know that they're consistently producing that, and that actually they're people we like, we understand why they're doing what they're doing. You can buy into the whole producer and what they produce. That's how we go out and find them.
Stefanos, where does your cheese sit in the marketplace?
Interesting question. It's Greek cheese. You have a few kind of runaway successes like feta. Some of the softer cheeses, other softer cheeses are kind of gaining ground now. The harder cheeses might be a bit of a difficult sell at the moment.
But more of a selective product.
Yeah, but they're really good value, so I think people are open to trying them. And Graviera, I kind of see now more and more on menus all over the place, not necessarily in Greek restaurants alone. Lots of international restaurants are discovering it as well. So I think it's very positive signs.
And where can we find these cheeses?
Well, Maltby and Greek is us. We primarily supply restaurants, delis and others wholesale, but we also have a website, so you can go on there and we deliver to you.
Thank you so much. We wish you well with it.
Cheers. Thanks, Michael.